Gather round, young'uns. I got me another story to tell ya. This one is about how Cenk's daddy done ended the dreaded womb slavery of the women folk way back in 19 Dickety. They had to say Dickety back then because them neck-bearded villains in the Kremlin had done stole the word 60. Now Cenk's daddy might have chased down those rascals to get it back from that vault in Siberia where Khrushchev was holding it hostage. But he was too busy in one of those fancy newfangled laboratories coming up with the next big thing. That one big thing that would emancipate the women's from the boot heels and iron fists of all those terrible oppressive patriarchs who'd kept 'em chained and subjugated for an age. Now those were dark days. The woman's suffrage, single-handedly won by Cenk's grandpappy, hadn't done much to brighten 'em neither. What good is a right to vote when a woman's chained by her ankle to a kennel, like a dog in a puppy mill, gestating and lactating until her sacred body's nothing but a thin, gaunt relic of its former splendor? How, I ask you, can a woman exercise her God-given right to vote when she's kept in a perpetual state of debilitating motherhood by the vulnerability of her own body and the eagerness of them awful male patriarchal men of the masculine kind to exploit it? That was what it was like for women back in 19 Dickety, my darlings. Dark times for women indeed. The baby mills were running day and night, and between the fornicating, impregnating, and gestating and lactating, why, there was barely time for those poor creatures to even get dinner on the table for a man who owned 'em like the chattels they was under the law. Voting? Why, that was a dream like dreaming of sunlight and the taste of strawberries when you're wasting away in a dungeon. Now Cenk's daddy, he was the only man he knew, maybe the only man alive who could see the terrible injustice of what was going on. In his laboratory he devised a cure, one that would free the women forever from the oppressions and depredations of their biological vulnerabilities. He toiled and toiled, single-minded and without surcease, until his own manly body was wasted and frail from all the ways he'd deprived it. Each time he took a meal, he knew time was wasting. Each time he dared to sleep, he knew millions of women were suffering. Oh, he was a driven man, a passionate man, a good man on a mission to liberate the delicate petals of womanhood from the oppressions and vagaries of mankind and nature that conspired against them. And finally, after long years of slaving at his Bunsen burner, he magicked up himself a pill that would break the deadly and oppressive link between the fornication and all those other horrible, humiliating, painful, and crippling conditions: the impregnation, the gestation, and the lactation. Well, he rushed himself down to the patent office and the FDA, and he demanded that his pill, his discovery, be made available to all women at no charge, no less. Of course, villains that those patriarchal institutions are, they intentionally and arbitrarily threw obstacles in his way. Double-blind trials, fiddlesticks. Cenk's daddy didn't have no time for that because he knew those poor women was being subjugated to depredations and humiliations as long as they were wrongly deprived of his magic pill. He stormed into the office of the head of the FDA. He grabbed that villain by his neckbeard, and he told that scoundrel, "If you don't approve this liberating pill, I will cut you down in a duel at dawn tomorrow." Pinned against a wall, the head of that terrible patriarchal institution signed on the dotted line, and Cenk's daddy left him standing there, his cheeks and his trousers wet from the fear engendered by Cenk's daddy's righteous wrath. Next he went to the nearest baby mill, which is where most women lived in those dark times. chained to their kennels in various states of maternal confinement, some even suckling the babies of those who'd been destroyed by the rigors of repeated impregnating and birthing. He burst in the door, and in a fit of passion that can only be felt by a good man fighting for women, he laid out the terrible, evil men of the masculine sort who were guarding that wretched factory. One by one he took 'em down, and then, like an angel descending through a prison window, he approached those poor enslaved women, those poor souls, and gave them their pills, the pills that would free 'em from the oppressions of their wombs and their men. And that's the story of how Cenk Yuga's daddy was the one good man who would have given women birth control.